You come out of quarantine, people are gonna be like, girl, where you get your nails done? Welcome to Monthly Mani Mondays, guys. Today I am going to go through my best tips and tricks for dip powder nails, and I broke this down into a couple different categories for you. Categories are prep, shaping, application, care, removal, storage, and bonus tips. And this will be helpful if you guys have already seen my dip powder nails for newbies. So if you watched that one before this one might make more sense. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into it. So for prepping, my first tip in prepping is making sure, this is the most important thing, make sure your cuticles are pushed back, like the entire way back. And sometimes I even push them back twice. I'll file my nail bed or just buff my nail bed down, and then I'll push my cuticle back with my cuticle pusher. So I'll have all the tools that I use and everything in the description bar for you if you're curious to see what I use on an every mani basis, every week basis. I do my nails every week. Anyway, most important thing, push cuticles back, and sometimes it helps to soak your fingers first for a couple minutes. But if you already have a dip manicure on, whenever you remove your powder, then you can soak your nails in warm water for a couple of minutes to push your cuticles back. And be sure to dry your hands. And that leads me into the next prepping tip, which is to make sure your hands are dry, dry, dry. You do not want oils or water or any sort of moisture on your fingernails, because that will not allow the product to stick to your nails. So whenever I do my nails, I do not touch any part of my nails with my fingertips at all. I forgot my rings. Yeah. So I just try really hard not to touch my nails. What I do is after I buff my nail bed and push my cuticles back, I make sure that I wipe them off, but not with anything that I touch with my fingers. So I like kind of wipe them off on a towel, or honestly my pants. I just like do this. Yeah. Cute, right? So I do that with my pants or my towel that I have in front of me instead of using my fingers to pick something up and wipe them off, because I don't want to use cotton because that gets fibers on your nails, and I don't want to use my little lint-free wipes because I feel like my hands can, I feel like the oils are going through that. I don't know. I'm just paranoid. So I just wipe them off my pants or a towel. So there you go. That's the prep tip. Okay, so then shaping. My first tip in shaping is, for my shape that I like, is the coffin shape, and you just want to make sure you go in at a hard angle towards the tip of your nail, and you kind of want to go more of a deep diagonal than you think you'll need to go to achieve this shape. But you also want to be careful to get the little corner from your tip of your nail to your nail bed where your skin attaches to the tip. That corner is hard to get, but it's crucial in getting this shape right. So you want to make sure that you get that particular spot when you're shaping your nail. And my other shaping tip is to make sure that you go over those same spots again after you activate your nails, or after step 2. And I'm going along with the Revel nail kit. If you don't already know that, every tip and trick that I'm going over with you corresponds to the Revel nail dip powders, and I'm not affiliated with them. That's just what I've been using, and I really like their products. After step 2, the activator step, you want to make sure that you're filing and shaping your nails again. So not just making them smooth again, but you also want to go over the angles and the tip and make sure that your actual shape of your nail is the shape that you started out with, because it will be a little bit different and a little bumpy. So just make sure that you're doing that part again too. And then application, my number 1 tip for application is do not rush it. So many people say it takes so long to do these nails, which it does. I mean, I went to beauty school. You could call me a professional, I guess. I mean, I have my beautician's license, which includes nails, so I can do this professionally. But me being a professional and doing it, it still takes me about 2.5 hours to do my nails and to have them come out the way that I like them. I only did my nails one time from start to finish, including removal of my previous manicure. From start to finish, I did it in 60 minutes and 30 seconds, and that's only because my husband was baiting me. He said that I couldn't get it done, so I did it. That was just my inner fighting spirit coming out, and I needed to prove him wrong. So that's the only time I've ever done it in less than 2.5 hours. hours, but generally, rule of thumb, it'll take you a long time. It takes me about 2.5 hours, but don't rush it. Don't be afraid to take a long time. It's supposed to be fun, and if it's not fun, then just don't do it because it's not worth your time then. There's no need to stress about it. It's just your nails. You'll be fine. Yes. Next tip is to use a toothpick or an orange stick. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically a big toothpick, or a small brush to go around your cuticle area after you dip it in the powder. If you think that you had too much liquid on your brush, and if you think that you got some of the liquid on your skin, that's a way to get the liquid off of your skin, is to use a brush. I have it here on a video to show you, but I don't do this step anymore, but I did it for the first couple of manicures that I did because I now know the process well enough to not get it on my skin, but starting out, you probably will get it on your skin from time to time, and this step will save your cuticles later if you're trying to file them down or buff them down. A lot of people, that's when they really hurt their cuticles because they have to file there so much because they got powder and liquid on their skin. But if you use a toothpick or an orange stick or a little brush and scrape right around your cuticle right after you dip it in the powder and you notice it, then you won't have to scrub as hard later. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not explaining that right, but hopefully you'll understand it. Next step is when you get to the activator step, step 2. After that is dry and your nails are hardened, whenever you go to buff it out, I don't use a buffing block, to be honest. I use a regular nail file, and that will save you time. If you're like me, your nails will probably be very bumpy after this stage, and that's normal. That's how it's supposed to look, but it'll take a long time if you're just using a buffing block to get them smooth and shaped the way you like them. So I just use a regular nail file. I use a buffing block at the very beginning before I start the whole process, but that's the only time I really use my buffing block. So I use my regular nail file at step 2 to make it more smooth, and I just feel like I have more control that way as well. And now for caring for your nails after they're already on. As they grow out, you might feel there's lifting. If you don't know what that feels like, just put your fingers through your hair and then pull out like this, and if your hair is getting stuck underneath of your nails, you have a little bit of lifting. And that's not the end of the world. All you have to do is just take a regular top coat from your other nail polishes that you have laying around. Take a top coat and just put a little bit of your top coat right back here where your cuticle is. Whenever that dries, that'll help your hair from getting caught under there, and it'll stop the lifting a little bit until you can take those off and get ready for your next manicure. And now we're moving into removal. So a lot of people have asked me, oh, that's a pretty bird. A lot of people have asked me how I remove my nails, and I do it 2 different ways. If I'm in, okay, just ignore the bird. He's been interrupting me for the past like 2 minutes. If I'm in a hurry, I do the method where you use the 100% acetone, but I use a bowl of hot water, as hot as you can stand to the touch, and like you can actually leave your fingers in there for a while. And then you fill a gallon baggie with a little folded up paper towel at the bottom, pour a little bit of the 100% acetone into the bottom of the baggie, put both of your hands in there inside the baggie and then in the bucket of warm water, and you let that sit, and you just rub your fingernails, like you rub them onto the paper towel for about 5 to 10 minutes. It differs for every person, but it takes me about 7 to 8 minutes until I can't stand it anymore and there's like a little bit of stuff left on my nails, but then I just use my little e-file and drill the rest off. That's what I do if I'm in a rush. But if I'm not in a rush and I want to save my fingers from having to soak in acetone, because that is not very good for your skin, but I mean, it's fine. So if you don't want to use acetone on your fingernails, or if this is during lockdown and quarantine of the coronavirus 2020 and you can't find acetone because everybody's doing their nails now and nobody can get acetone because everybody's buying it, then you might need to use this method, which is filing your nails down to the clear layer. Obviously, for this method, you have to put a clear coat down first before you dip in your colors, which I mentioned how to do that in my previous video on nails. But if you do a clear dip first, then you can use this method, which is one of my favorite methods, is to e-file your nails down to the clear layer. And you have to have, well, you don't have to, but when I had my e-file, I started using the nail bits that came with it, and I did not like them. I kept burning myself with like the friction burn. It was not fun. But if you get the ceramic bits, I'm going to repeat that because that's important. If you get the ceramic bits for your nail drill, they are much better for your nails. Well, I don't know if they're better for your nails, but they don't hurt. Hey, so this is my new ceramic bits for my nail drill. It comes with a little brush one too, which is really cool. But, oops, yikes. Anyway, this one looks super scary, but it's not going to focus on it. But it has like little teeth on it, and that's supposed to be what gets off the polished stuff. So I'm going to try it out right now and see if it works. I'm really scared. I'm afraid it's going to hurt myself. All right, I think it's the other way. Okay, here we go. It's scary. So when I do it, I use this scary looking one first to get off the majority of the color, but I am so terrified of hurting my nails or drilling through my nail. It's just so scary to me that I only file down until I can like start to see the clear, but I don't file all the color off right now with the scary looking bit. Then once I get it to look like this, I go ahead and I switch to the non-scary looking drill bit, and I use that to take off the rest of the color. And if you're careful and if you have your drill on the slowest setting, you should be okay. I'm not gonna say that you're gonna be fine because it's tricky to use a nail file, an e-file, so you don't have to do it. But if you're confident enough that you can do this without hurting yourself, you should try it. Just be very careful. Don't go too close to your cuticles with the scary looking one. But I really like this method if I just wanna take my time and just not have my nails soaking in acetone all the time. Because I do a new manicure every week, and I don't wanna soak my nails in acetone once a week. I just don't wanna do that. So that is a really cool method that I love to use. And then moving on to storage. First tip, and probably the most important tip of this whole video, if you're using the Revel nail products, is to not screw on the top of step 1. This stuff is like harder than super crazy tacky glue, whatever that's called. Even if you're super careful when you're using step 1 and then you close it, somehow the liquid from step 1 leaks over the sides and gets stuck in the threads. So whenever you go to try to open it again, good luck. Like, I've seen so many people have to use pliers or running it under hot water or doing this and that. There's so many different ways of trying to get your bottle back open. It's just ridiculous. I mean, you could try to put cuticle oil around the threads. I did that for a while and it worked for a little bit, but the best way that I can tell you to avoid having the bottle stick shut on you is to not close it the whole way. Just like screw it on a teeny tiny bit, like a half a turn. Mine's practically not even on at all, but I have it stored in a way that it won't matter if it's not closed the whole way. Just as long as you don't have a lot of air getting into it, it should be fine. As long as it's closed, like sealed, but not like shut tight, you should be fine. And my next tip is how to store your stuff. So I have 2 different storage products, like storage things. I don't know. I have 2 things that I got from Amazon that I love to store my nail stuff in. Words are not my friend today. So I have this 8-drawer storage rolly cart thingy that I got from Amazon, and I love it for storing my dip powders. I have my acetone in there. I have my towels that I use to lay down before I do my manicures. All of that stuff is in there. But then I also like this box that I got from Amazon, and in that I keep my random like little gems and the stamps and those little items I keep in this box, but also in the top of this box. The top of this box is amazing. Like, you open it up and there are little tiny square compartments for each one of your nail polishes. And I love that because you can roll the cart around and have this sitting on top, and none of your nail polishes are gonna dump over or spill out, which is very important, especially for step 1, like I was telling you, because once that spills over, there's no getting it back. So those are my 2 favorite storage items that I bought from Amazon. But another storage tip for you, whenever you're storing away your dip powders, put them upside down, because you don't want all of the powder to settle, especially the chunky glitters. They need to be mixed up whenever you use them. So it's just easier for you whenever you need to do your manicure, take them out upside down and then flip them right side up, and that kind of mixes up the powder for you, so you don't have to sit there and try to stir the powder and get the powder everywhere. So just store them upside down, and it'll make your life easier, and it'll make your manicures turn out nicer because the powder will be mixed up and the color will be more even. Okay, last category is my bonus tips. Bonus tips. Tip 1 is to use clear nail sticks to swatch out your colors whenever you buy them. I bought these from Amazon. Again, Amazon is amazing, but I bought these clear nail sticks because the color on the Revel Nail site and even in the powder itself can look different once it's actually dipped and has the activator and the clear coat and everything. It's gonna look different after you dip it than when it does as the powder form, and it looks totally different on the website too. But that's why I swatch them out, so you can kind of look and see what they'll look like against your skin, or if you're starting to do your friend's nails, they can like put the swatch up to their nails to see if they like that color on them. So you get the point. Just get those and it'll make your life a whole lot easier whenever it's time to choose a color for your next manicure. Next tip, if you don't like a color that you just put on your nails, or if you were trying to do a fancy thing that didn't turn out right, like ombre or marbling or any color blocking or something like that, and if you're starting to do it on your nails and you didn't put activator on yet and you realize, ugh, that looks awful, you can redo it. So you can file a coat or two down and then redo that part before you put the step 2 on, because step 2, the activator, that's what makes it hard. So before that, you have the leeway to kind of file down and adjust things if you need to. I don't suggest doing it all the time because it might make it a little bit more bumpy, but you can do it. It's possible to fix a manicure halfway through. I just did that on these ones because these are marbled. On these nails, I didn't like how some of the marbling turned out. So before I put the activator on, I filed it down. Actually, I think it was after the activator. So you can do it after the activator too. It just takes a little bit longer because your nail's harder. It's going to take longer to file it down. But you can do it after the activator too. But it's just easier before the activator. So you can file down to where you think it looks like you can redo it, and then redo it, and then go on. Life continues. Next bonus tip, you can make your own color. So there's 2 ways of doing this. You can dip your nail in one color and then dip it in another color and you get a new color. Or you can mix the colors together in a little container. I have done both of these. I made this really pretty glitter color from 3 different glitters that Revel sells. I mixed together the opal color, the flurry color, and the Elsa color to get this really pretty blue glittery awesomeness. I also made my own color by just dipping my nail one time in a light pink and then one time in a darker pink, and I got a medium pink. So there's different ways of dipping your nails that you can achieve other colors. So kind of play around with that and see if you want to do a new color. Those are 2 great ways of doing that. Okay, so I know that I look different because I forgot to add something into this video and my family is behind me, so if you hear them, that's why. But I wanted to pop on to say one tip that I completely forgot to write down. If you want to save a little bit of time, do your one hand entirely first. Well, entirely up to step 2, the activator step. So you dip one hand, put the activator on it, and then go ahead and dip your other hand. And then once you activate your second hand, then you can go back and start filing your first hand, so you don't have to sit there and wait for the 3 minutes that it takes to have the activator sit on your nails. And then by the time you're done filing your first hand, then it will have been about 3 minutes, so then you can go ahead and file your second hand. Hope that makes sense. Okay, yep, I forgot to tell you something else. So I am yet again in another outfit. But I wanted to quickly mention that another thing that I do every single time I do a manicure is I make sure I have the proper lighting, because lighting is key. So this is what I use. I mean, it's backwards right now, but I'll link this below, but you don't need a fancy light like this because I use this for my YouTube videos as well. But I use a ring light whenever I do my nails so I can better see what I'm doing. But if you don't have a ring light and don't want to buy something like that, I like to bring my little table that I have, my little nail table that I got from Aldi. I like to bring it out here, and I like to do my nails by the window so I have the natural light coming in. So I just wanted to let you guys know that lighting is key, so try to do your nails where you have the best lighting possible. And if you can't do it in the sunlight or that time of day is not best for you, I recommend getting some sort of nice lighting that you can do your nails by, so you don't get like shadows, so you can actually see what you're doing. It will just turn out better if you can see what you're doing more clearly. Yeah, you get it. Back to the regular video. So this is a photography tip for anybody who likes to take pictures to put on social media, Instagram, Facebook, what have you. After you do your nails, your fingers are going to be super dry. So you need to make sure that you're using cuticle oil and lotion before you take your picture. And also you want to make sure that you're standing by a window or even outside, but just not in direct, harsh sunlight, but in soft sunlight. So stand by a window in natural light and have something neutral in the background, but just something nice that'll complement the color of your manicure. Those are just a couple photography tips for you whenever you take your picture of your nails. And here's a couple examples of my nails that I've taken pictures of that I tried to get a good picture for Instagram, and I just was taking a picture just for the heck of taking a picture of my nails. And these are the differences in the pictures, and you can see how much better the Instagram pictures look versus the ones that I wasn't trying. My very last tip for you guys is just don't be discouraged. If you're new at this, it takes a while to get good, especially if you're not a professional and you are not used to doing your nails on a regular basis. It's gonna take a while and it might be frustrating, but just don't let it discourage you. Every manicure you do, you're one manicure closer to that really good one that you've been waiting to have. So don't let anybody discourage you from doing this. This is a perfect time to do it. I mean, if you're watching this when it's uploaded, everybody's at home anyway. You can't leave your house now anyway, so this is a perfect time to try it. Your nails will just keep getting better with time. Don't give up. I promise you'll get better. So just keep that in mind. Don't be discouraged. Keep going. You got this. Your nails are gonna look amazing. But yes, that's all I had. I hope you guys enjoyed this dip nail bonus tips and tricks, all the good stuff video. Yep, that words. Thank you guys for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. Next month you'll see another nail video. Thanks for watching. Keep smiling, keep finding the joy. Thanks guys. Bye. People have asked me how I remove my nails. Are you gonna let me talk, bird? You're pretty, but you're interrupting my video. You're cute though. If you use the cuticle come on. Monthly Mani Mondays, Monthly Mani Mondays. A lot of people have asked me how, oh my god. Do you do this every time I talk, bird? Come on, seriously. I have this 8-drawer rolly storage thing. Why? This video brought to you by the annoying bird outside my window.